And we're back. Good to see every single one of you. Carolina Keith, regular Keith, just Keith. Can't stand Keith. Whatever, dude. I'm here. I hope you're here. What a week. What a day. What a couple days. Man, just when you think you're getting ahead, the hits keep on coming, don't they? Man, I know. I understand. I'm right there with you, everybody. I know exactly what you think. All right. So we'll talk about it a little bit here on the stream. We'll try to get everyone's charts in, and what more to say other than let's get to it. If you haven't done so, please go hit like. It costs absolutely nothing to hit the like button over here. While you're there, cue the jazz music. While you're there, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any streams, any videos, any clips that we post. Not to mention, the more times you hit like, the more people who watch the video worldwide, the more engagement we get. So everybody go hit the like button. It's free. Costs absolutely nothing. It's free. Hit you with the Wizard of Oz voice, the Wizard of Oz echo. Yeah. Man. Just when you think you're going to get ahead, curveball. So everyone's going to blame what happened today or earlier today on bad inflation numbers. Okay, great. Have you seen the trade file market? S&P 500, NASDAQ, Dow Jones, and almost all the Magnificent Seven up charts today. I can show you those if you'd like to see them. But yeah, if it's only going to affect one sector, then you can't go blaming one thing that didn't affect everything. Does that make sense to you? So the first thing that happens is everybody immediately goes and says, oh, that's why it happened. That's subjective, not objective, right? We want to stick to facts here. We don't want to go down with opinions. Opinions just get us stuck. Let's just read the data and see what we got. Now, they were expecting a 0.2% increase in price from year to year. It came out 0.9, which is almost 1% from year to year. Now, what does that mean? Well, from this time last year to this time this year, prices went up 1%. Now, we can all say, that's hilarious. We know it's way more than that. But those are the numbers they use to make monetary policy, which we are all affected by. It doesn't matter whether you're in the U.S., whether you're in England, whether you're in Wales, whether you're in Australia, China, Dubai, Brazil. It doesn't matter. Everything's affected by the U.S. dollar. The more powerful the U.S. dollar is, the worse it is for all the world, because essentially the U.S. kind of dominates the monetary policy around the world even more than they already did. Not to mention, we've found a direct correlation for a long time of the dollar moving one way and crypto moving the other way. All right. It's unfortunate, but it's just the way it is. It's been that way for a long time, and we're stuck with what we've got. So let's work with it and do the best we can with it. All right. When we were on Tuesday's stream, we saw things were looking pretty darn good, weren't they? Then Wednesday came along. Bam. Charts skyrocket. Another wonky Wednesday. What do you know? Another wonky Wednesday. And that walks us into earlier today, Thursday, where things just took a 180-degree turn. I've got the Bitcoin weekly chart pulled up here, and I want to talk about this first before we do anything else, right? Because more so than anything here on our channel, it's education first. I want everyone to learn as much as they can while they're on the stream. It's not just Keith spit out prices and tell me what to do. It never will be that. It's always going to be, hey, how do you know this? Hey, explain this to me. That's why I always ask everyone to please be active in the comments. Please ask questions. Please be loaded up in the live stream, and don't be afraid to come on and ask some questions. Jump in the chat in the if you're over on X. I appreciate you guys being over on X watching. Click on the live stream link, and then there's a comment chat section. Jump in there and say hey to us. Give us a repost if you're watching from around the world. Shoot it over on X. Give us a repost, and if you do, I'm happy to shout you out. Let everyone know, hey, you're watching the live stream with us, and I'll be happy to shout you out. Shout out your Twitter handle and everything. Thank you, Cheese. That's S1850607 Smile. That's Raclette. He's one of the moderators in our Discord. And his name's really long, so that's the best I can do. All right. So let me get this caught up to speed here, because you guys don't see it on your end, but YouTube lags just a little bit behind X, which is just a little bit ahead of Rumble. By the way, we're on 3 different platforms, Rumble, X, and YouTube. Rumble's our alternative viewing platform. We do YouTube, even though YouTube gets us absolutely nothing. We have almost no people watching over there, which is crazy. X has way more people. I'm hoping plenty of people show up tonight, but you can't really ever tell, you know what I mean? If you have questions, if you have comments, jump in and let us know, brother. Look, we have a chat box right here that'll happily put all your messages right there on the stream for everybody to see, and you'll be Twitter famous and YouTube famous. Fair enough? Fair enough. It's not what it's cracked up to be. I'm going to tell you right now. It's, yeah, it's not cracked up, but it's just not cracked up to be what it all is you think it would be. It's just not. So anyway, it worries me here on this chart formation. Why is that? Well, we already had a pretty wonky candle in here on the July 4th weekend that come after the July 4th. Bam, this thing goes red and throws a really gnarly candle. Now, good news is we bullish engulfed on the backside of that. Great. Next week after that, bam, down to the 8 EMA, just a punch in the mouth, right? Good news, big bullish engulfing right behind that. Great. Weekly, that's a terrible weekly candle. This is what I call a gravestone candle. Why? Well, it kind of looks like a gravestone. You have your part that goes against the ground, and you have the marker that says, here lies Bitcoin, right? Kind of looks like a gravestone. Inverted hammer would be another technical way of saying it. Instead of a hammer candle like normal, for instance, if I flip this around here, this is a normal hammer candle where it's at the bottom. You have a very long tail on the bottom of this candle, or wick. And then you have a little bit of a wick on top with a body that kind of forms up in the shape of a hammer. That would be bullish. Problem, I flipped the chart upside down to show you that. That's on the wrong side. This has a few days to catch up and get better. All right. The problem is CME closes tomorrow. What is CME? Well, that's Chicago Mercantile Exchange. Let me jump over there, show you that real fast. This is the CME chart. Even worse. CME looks even worse. Golly. Now, the good news, it did run up here and hit one of my target boxes exactly where I thought it would. That's good. Problem, this is a really, really gnarly candle right there. That's also the beginning of a shooting star. If this was at the bottom, we would be looking for up afterwards. This at the top. Uh-oh. Right? So we need to see this improve pretty well tomorrow. And guess what I don't think is going to happen? I don't think it's going to improve pretty well tomorrow. I think we're probably going to get stagnant prices tomorrow after all that crazy that we had yesterday. Right? You had a ton of liquidations. What's up, Joshua? Good to see you. We had a ton of liquidations yesterday to the tune of $200 billion. Poof, evaporated. Pretty wild, right? Well, the good news is some things held on pretty well and some things didn't. I wanted you to see this Bitcoin weekly look first. Right, back to the regular Bitcoin chart that I had up here a second ago. I want you to see this one clearly and plainly first. So the good news here is we're still way over the 8 EMA and we still have a chance. We only need to see this thing close at like 119.6 to change my opinion, and this just be a green doji at the top. That's an in-between candle and a bit confusing, but the point is that would just transfer us over to the next week, and then we would have another week of let's see what happens. I think August has more in it. I don't know whether that's for Bitcoin, Ethereum, or lower altcoins. That's up for debate. You can have your opinion on what you think it'll do. But I think there's more left in August. Historically, August has been really good to us throughout the history of Bitcoin in halving after years. So halving was last year. This is the after year after halving. We've had pretty good August historically. And since this thing is very, very cyclical, we know Bitcoin to be extremely cyclical. I'm thinking we got more left. All right. I'm going to go down to daily here where we spend most of our time. We'll go look at the fractal and all this in a second here. But I've got liquidity zones marked down here. What are these liquidity zones? Well, this is where the shorts typically run to find the most places that could take out the most longs. All right. This is a constant battle. Imagine a tug of war between one side and the other. All right. I want you to visualize this. Longs and shorts over here, right? One rope in the middle, and they're constantly pulling back and forth at each other. Okay. There's a piece of red tape in the middle. They want to swing that piece of red tape all the way to their side and nuke you out so they win. Likewise, the other side wants to do the same thing. We can monitor the momentum to see how far that rope is pulling back and forth via the chart. All right. Obviously, if this was the longs over here, we've had this rope pulled over here for quite a while now, right? Shorts started to pull back a little bit, and they're gonna want to work all the way to their side of the arena to liquidate us and knock us out and win the tug of war. That's the easiest way to explain it. Here's the spots where the tug of war goes back and forth. All right. These are the longs down here that they will attack if they can attack. That's all the way down to 112. Do I think we're going down to 112 right now? Likely no. All right. That's a long way down from where we are. For Bitcoin to take a 6% dive here, boy, that would really, really crush altcoins, wouldn't it? Right. So watch and see. It's possible. If I put the 821 and the 5100 up here, 821 EMA, you're kind of battling back and forth, fighting the good fight here, ping-ponging. Hasn't made its mind up yet what it wants to do exactly. We'll see. She's trying to fight back over the 8 EMA, but what I didn't tell you was shorts got liquidated. It was really awesome. We had a ton of shorts piled in right here. The tug of war, the longs pulled that rope all the way to their side, and they nuked those shorts out. And then they got cocky, and they ran the price way up. Well, guess what? Shorts said, oh, we're bringing in a reliever. Call in Craig Kimbrell. We're bringing in the reliever here who throws 97, and he ain't playing no games, and he's ready to throw fastballs and sliders and not give you a single thing to hit. You guys don't understand that? That's an Atlanta Braves reference. Craig Kimbrell was our closer for several years back when he was still him. He had a propensity, though. Anything more than 20 pitches, you were in trouble. Bobby Cox knew that and would still leave him in there. I hated that. That ended up costing us in the playoffs back in the day. Not the point. Point is, they came in here and encroached, and they created a new level of short liquidation areas. So this is their side of the court where the longs want to get to, and this is the side of the court where the shorts want to get to. Obviously, we're a long way away from the shorts winning here, and we are much closer to the longs having a good fight here. So we need to let this thing ping pong out here a little bit and figure out what it wants to do. But this one candle right here is something we simply cannot withstand over and over and over again. One is okay. 2, 3, 4 of these, we're in trouble. Look, this one candle was the size of all 5 of these candles over here. That's tough. We can't withstand this again. All right. I need to see this thing stay over the 821 EMA the best it can here. We go back to weekly here. We can see we're way over the 8 EMA. Not even close. This thing's a mile from the 8 EMA. So it could sit here and do nothing for a week or two, which worries me also. I don't want to see it sit there and do nothing because that puts us on a path of, oh no, now what? All right, I don't want to see that. If I flip it out to monthly here. Now, looking at monthly, well, this is much ado about nothing. That's just 5 green months in a row. It's fun. This is why sometimes it's best not to get caught up in all the hoopla, right? Sometimes it's best to take a step back and look at it and go, it's all right. Not the end of the world. It's okay. And that's why it's important to have other perspectives that maybe you wouldn't understand or think the first time. Sultana Luffy, thank you for the repost. Shout out Busted. Matt Wallace 9433. Appreciate that. Thank you, Jeremy. What's up, brother? Jeremy, give us a repost over there. You hit the little square and let everybody know you're watching. Appreciate that. I'll get to you other guys in a second over here on YouTube and Rumble. Yeah. Hey, monthly's a new high and it's still going. I want you to be careful. She is overbought on the monthly as well. Triple. 1, 2, 3 times overbought. Careful. Okay, careful. Do I think there's more in it? Absolutely, I do. Here's the weekly 2016, 2020, and currently. I show you this every single live stream for a reason, because there's not many people doing this. Not many people have this marked out mathematically for you all to see. It's all a bunch of hopium laid over top of each other. I've got a mathematical chart laid here, side by side, with measurements on it so you can see it's not just me making it up. These are to scale across the board here, right? 2016, 2020, and now. You see we still haven't quite gotten to our 1414 Fibonacci line right there. You see it right there? We haven't gotten there yet. That's also the same line from 2020. You can see it there. And the same line from 2016. You can see it there. All right. 2016 had more juice in it than now. 2020 ran out of juice early. We're kind of in between both of them now. So, can we get a little bit more hoopla in here? I think so, because if so, that's going to get us to that 130 area where I expected a slowdown to begin with, right? And obviously, monthly here, we've looked at this multiple times. 2012, 2016, 2020, 2024. This thing's very, very similar across the board still. Not much to report here. Things aren't that much different than they were the last stream on a high time frame. So as far as that goes, cycle is still intact. Nothing too much to report there. Here's total market cap 1, 2, and 3. Total market cap 1 still way out front and still green on the weekly. Instead of Bitcoin being green, total market cap is green over here. All right. Then you got total 2, which is everything except altcoins, Bitcoin and Ethereum only. And then total 3, which is everything except Bitcoin and Ethereum. And you can see these are now very comparable in shape and size. Charts look very, very similar across the board. Total 1's still out front, and it will be. That's just how it is. Bitcoin's always going to be the king. Total 2 and 3 are slowly trying to catch up, but they never will. But more so, I want you to see that the balance is finally starting to come back between the two of those, all right? That's thanks to Ethereum finally catching up and doing something instead of playing grab ass. If you guys don't know what grab ass is, that's what my grandma used to say we were doing when we were horse playing. Y'all quit playing grab ass. She said that to us all the time. All right, so we closed CME gaps, but we don't really need to worry about those right now. More so, we need to worry about staying over the AEMA, and I'd like to see this thing close at 119, 250, but give me 120, and 120 would really move the needle for me because that would flip that weekly candle back green, all right? So if we can get back to 120 tomorrow, you're going to see me shut up and not say much else. Hey, you guys over on YouTube, go hit like. I appreciate you guys being on here. Hit like, and more people will see it. More people get the good message. Let me give everybody a shout out. What's up, Dab, Ron Poteet, Miss Beverly, how you doing? Good to see you, Miss Bev. I believe we're going to have Justin on the Zoom after this to get see if we can get that Gala node running again. It's tricky to get it going at sometimes. You don't understand how to do it at first. It's a little bit of a balancing act to figure it out. What's up, Burner? Sir Sigma, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Doing his own thing now. What's up, Busted? Dab says howdy. What's up, Josh Udall? Saw you on there. Lou Dog, 128 BTC around Fed cuts September 17th to 20th. Yeah. So there's another thing we need to talk about. So the data that came in today, that economic data is what the Fed bases their ideas off of as far as rate cuts go. So if they see rate cuts as an inflationary thing, which they are because it spurs spending. When you cut rates, you spur spending. What that causes is everything to shift into a more expensive mode. That's what they're trying to fight now. And then when you see CPI data come in like it came in today and says year over year, it's up 1%. Well, that's immediately alarming to the Fed to say, well, we're not cutting rates until the prices come down more. Problem here, you're stagnating the economy by not cutting rates. The rest of the world is cutting rates and you aren't. All right, so you're going to get left behind. That's the worry and the reason the president's kind of been trying to push back at Jerome Powell to tell him, you need to cut rates. Even if our economy isn't what you want it to be, it's so much better than the rest of the world, but they're going to catch us because they're cutting rates. What a lot of people don't know about is the housing market. Hey, what's up, Crypto Elephant? Good to see you. What a lot of people don't know about the housing market is new house sales and existing house sales are down and flat. Interestingly enough, home prices are all-time high. So you've got house prices down, house sales down, home prices up. How do you get this to break, right? Who can afford to buy the most expensive house possible? Not me. It turns out only people who are looking to relocate or people who have an exorbitant amount of savings can afford to move to another place or buy another house, etc. So what we have happening is right now, people from more wealthy states moving to less wealthy states because they can afford to. For example, where I live in South Carolina, I'm in upstate South Carolina. This is one of the hottest places in the country to move to. Why? Because the land is cheap, the rent's affordable, the housing's not too bad, the schools are not great, but they're improving. Goods are cheap, people are nice, things are friendly, the weather's nice, and you can sell that house you have in Pennsylvania that's worth $1.7 million, and you can move down here and have a $250,000, $300,000 house that's just the same as the one you had in Pennsylvania, plus $1.5 million sitting in your savings account. That's why it happens. California and Texas ramp those numbers up even more. All right. People moving from New York knock those numbers up even more. Why wouldn't you want to leave those insane states that keep doing crazy things politically and crazy things with taxes? Why wouldn't you want to leave those states and come south where it's cheaper and nicer and slower to live? I get it. Now, just remember why you came here. I'll say that. Remember why you're moving to South Carolina. Don't bring your bullshit with you. We say that every time we meet somebody who moves here new. My next door neighbors are from a different state on each side of me. Next door neighbor lives next to me, real sweet people. They actually look out for the yard and stuff while we're gone. Real nice, right? We take them fruit and stuff from the farm all the time. But they're from Michigan. And I told them when they moved in, I said, hey, look, you remember why you moved here? All right? I'm not mad. I'm happy you're here. But remember why you moved here. Don't bring the crazy with you. Leave the crazy in Michigan. Come here and enjoy. Embrace our culture, and we'll embrace you. All right? I think that would be a nicer message to say to the rest of the world about coming to the U.S. as well. Hey, come on, man. Come on in. We'd love to have you guys. Just remember, leave your BS there. And remember why you came here. Embrace the culture, and we'll embrace you. All right? So we need that housing market fixed. The only way you're going to do that is to lower rates. If you lower rates, then interest rates for homes will come down as well. And suddenly that house that's unaffordable is affordable again. You'll see housing sales go back up. Now, housing prices may go up, but with that's going to come competition. And since competition comes up, you may start seeing houses come down in price, but go up in value, if that makes sense to you. It sounds a little weird right now, but all that has to happen in sequence. And none of it's happened because the Fed hasn't cut rates yet, which is interesting, as the only time they cut rates was right before the election.
Wrong.
I know it was wrong, but that's what they did. Shout out to Lou Dog. He says, you think boomers in trouble, house rich? Do you think boomers in trouble, house rich, fiat poor? In trouble? No. I think they're sitting on a nest egg, and people think that that's trouble, but it's not. They can easily sell those homes up north at a discount and still have twice as much money to come down and live. You could buy 2 houses down here and still live comfortably. You know what I mean? What's up, Crypto Andrew? Good to see you, brother. Powell speaks at Jackson Hole, August 23rd, predicted to be bearish. Yeah, but that's just the way he is. He's always bearish. SB Smith, no way I would move from Pennsylvania to South Carolina. You say that now, but like 80% of y'all guys up there would love to not have to deal with the crazy politics. And there's a reason we call y'all halfbacks or tweeners. All right? Because you go down to Florida and you go, oh shit, I don't want to live here. And you come halfway back to the Carolinas, or in between, north and south, right here in the middle. Right? But we're still Southern. You can hear my voice. We move a little slower down here. We like sweet tea. We like homemade biscuits. We still say ma'am. We still hold doors for ladies. We say y'all. That's right. And we enjoy some good company. So come on down here. But leave the junk with you. Now, that's all I want to go through on Bitcoin. I'd move to South Carolina 100%. See? Ethereum. Let's go to Ethereum real quick. Now, this is my actual stop loss. I slid my stop loss way up. Why did I do that? Well, I saw all these gains roll in. And I said, dang. You know what I should do is slide my stop loss way up just in case things get crazy. And yesterday they did. Good news is, even after all that crazy, Ethereum doesn't want to give up. Got a pretty good showing going on right here, right now. Starting off the daily, we're about to close the first 4-hour candle in about 37 minutes. So when that candle closes, we'll see how much more we get. Usually the midnight hours on a Friday are a little bit weird. And that second 4-hour candle that comes at 4 in the morning, between 4 and 8, that's where the magic happens. Now, I try to be up in the morning on Friday real early so I can see some of that magic. But the problem is we stay up till 2 or 3 in the morning at night on Thursday nights. So I don't get but 3 or 4 hours of sleep, and I'm super, super groggy and stuff. So good news is, even after that red, we're still doing all right. Flipping out to the ETH weekly, she still looks like a champ. Look at that thing go, all right? Nothing to see there except green skies out front. The thing's in price discovery. It's free to go wherever it wants. If you close here on Ethereum, you're closing over the previous all-time high. Right there's previous all-time high. Close, not just a wick, but close. Previous all-time high is 46.39. That's exactly what the price is right now. A little bit more pepper here, and we start a new high on the weekly, and that opens up even more green skies. All right. How about CME? This is important because Ethereum, XRP, Solana, and Bitcoin are the only 4 that are on CME. I told you guys we'd hit this 3,500 barrier again, and it happened. Exactly. Doubt me if you must. I'm not always right, but we're right more than we're wrong, and that's important. Now, on a CME chart, she's still flirting around with all-time high. She hasn't actually got above it yet because remember, the CME chart closes on the weekends. That's why you get gaps in the chart like you have right there. See that gap? That's why you get them gaps, okay? That's going to happen sometimes like that. Thoughts on interest cuts, bull run extend? Yeah, absolutely. I think that's possible. Actually, the last bull run bled off into Q1 as well, and I think we might see that same thing happen again. This time, I think we might bleed off into Q1 a little bit, barring in the fact that we had the whole tariff debacle and not really refusing to cut rates. I think that may have thrown off a timeline a little bit for altcoins, but not for Bitcoin. Bitcoin's still doing its thing, and I think it'll still end off somewhere around the end of the year. That's not everything, but for sure Bitcoin. I don't think Bitcoin's going to run out to the end of Q1 into 2026. I don't see that. But Ethereum here, CME, we pull a fib on it, you'll notice slightly different numbers, but that's okay. You're way over all-time high. 5,600 to 5,620 and 5,000 are still my magic numbers here. 5,000 to 5,620. We're at 46.53 right now. Log or linear still comes out to around 5,000 to 5,620 to me. I think we got more juice in the tank before it slows down some. And I think we will slow down some here at some point. Then we're going to have that last push toward the end of the year. Once they start cutting rates and people really start to dig in, we get to that October, November area, I think we're going to start to see things pop. When we start to see things pop, prepare, because things might get wild real quick, okay? I think that's coming at the end of the year no matter what. So even though things are rocky right now, and I know it sucks, and this sucks to deal with, if you could hold out a little bit, I think there's light at the end of the tunnel, okay? One more thing I forgot to show you on Bitcoin, and I'll go back to this. We like to pull up the rainbow wave every once in a while just so we can see it, okay? Well, we can use this one. Let's flip it out to the monthly. Or do we do weekly? We do weekly, don't we? Yeah, that's what we do. We do weekly. All right, this is the Bitcoin rainbow wave. This has been fairly accurate every time. What it does is shows you cyclically where the price is likely to start and stop. What we've noticed is this thing tends to run up to the same levels each time. Let me go in here and turn on the, let's see, show can't miss zones. That's what I'm looking for. Show no miss zones. There we go. So these are the no miss zones. If you look back in the history of Bitcoin, it's never not hit these no miss zones. And that's that red colored area right there. This is 2020 and 2021. All right, we go back a little bit more. This is 2017, 2018. You go back a little bit more. This is 2012, 2013. Same thing, right? And we don't have a history for the very first. Yeah, we do actually. This is the first one, 2011, 2012. I'm going to sneeze. Oh, no, maybe not. Nonetheless, what I'm trying to say here is it's never not hit the can't miss zones. As you see, we still have quite a bit of room to get to the can't miss zone, huh? Par for the course. I understand that's to the bottom of the can't miss zone. That's 39 more percent. I happen to think we're getting to that 175 level. We get to that 175 level. That's another 50% from here. Bear with it. I think we have some left. Just needs a little bit more time. And I hate saying that because I know you guys get sick of hearing me say, we need a little bit more time. But it's true, okay? It's true. All right. Can we go to XRP now? Yeah. I think we can go to XRP now. Shout out to everybody watching over on X. We got almost 200 people over there. Shout out, guys. We got 45 people watching on YouTube. Y'all go hit like, man. Costs absolutely nothing to hit like. Only half of you guys have hit like. What are you scared of? Don't be scared. I need that sound effect. Don't be scared. I'll get that one. Don't worry. I'll fix it. Nonetheless, let's get to XRP here. On the weekly, she's still consolidating, boiling in this wedge right here. And I know that might seem a little odd to you to see that wedge, but I'll show you right here, right there. We have a big wedge forming. She's chopping out. I do think we're going to get a break. Here's the 821 EMA on the weekly. We can see we're still over all the goods. Not bad, not bad. We're still over support right there. You see that? That barrier right there. I'll draw you a, turn those moving averages off. I'll draw you a square here, or a rectangle on the top of support. All this is support right here. Stay over the red box, we're fine. All right, so targets, what do I still think? Well, still think we're going to run up here toward this 1414 level and this 1618. That's $4 to $4.40. And if you're in the camp of only up $6, but call it $5.89. Call it $5.89, okay? Because it would be more fun. Because you know $5.89. You guys know $5.89. Again, this is my optimal long-term take profit box that I wrote on way back in 2024, and I said what happened. Sure as shit, that thing's played out exactly like we said it would. Crazy, right? Crazy. One of the few people, 786 Assassins, were one of the few people who were telling you guys this was going to happen. I was ridiculed up and down for this, yet here we are. This thing's playing out exactly like we thought. Told you way down here was the buy zone. You can go back and check the old live streams, and I can actually pull them up. I might do that. Go back and grab the clips of the old live streams where I said this is the buy zone. Same thing happened back in 2020. All right, we've had this happen before. What about back in the day in 2016? Yep, same thing back in the day 2016. Same exact buy zone, same exact go zone, go time. You see that? Go time. No different here. No different here. So this leads me to think that we're still going to get the same price action. We just got to wait it out. And it also leads me to think that this thing's going to end off the same way it's ended off before, with a pop. So this last pop should get us up here toward those numbers, that $4 to $6. I don't know past that. I don't want to stick my foot in my mouth too far there. So we'll wait on that one. If I flip it to linear mode here, I still come out with similar numbers for linear mode, okay? 2 fibs have been hit. We're back down to the 1618. But as long as we hold this range on linear mode, as long as we hold that range, we're okay. We can take a stab at that $4 range in time. I think it's going to get there. You know, daily wise is the problem. Yesterday set us back pretty good. Back underneath the 821 now. Just after it looked like it was going to get going, all it did was lay an egg. That sucks. I didn't want to see this happen. So there's your high. Here's your low. And unfortunately, we got a lower high. Didn't want to see that. That leads me to think we're going to dig into support again and see if we get a higher low or a lower low. 50 moving average, access support right here. This thing may jog a little bit, wait on the 50. I'm okay with that if it wants to jog a little bit and wait on the 50. I sold some Bitcoin into XRP. I'm willing to do that again. I'm willing to do that again if it can hold up here. I'm not going to buy it unless it's going to hold up. I'm not a long-term hodler. I never have been and I never will be. So, baby steps. I need to see this back over the 821. I don't want to see this thing get chopped down again. If we pull some fibs on it, you'll see what happened. Golden pocket cut it down and almost got to Sniper's Alley, but didn't. We flip these fibs the other way around now and say, how far down are we going to go? Well, pull a fib on it. Let's see. So let's zoom in here. We can drop this red box off. That was just an example for you guys. All right. So currently we went up, came back down to the 382, back over the 236, and now we fell back under the 382 fib right there. You can see that. And now we're perfectly kissing the bottom of it. If we close above the 382, we have a chance to attack the 236. If we do not do that, we're going back down here to the 50 fib that we've already hit one time. Technically, this is okay. This is a continuation retrace, meaning it came up, caught some down, but more buyers come in, and then it goes back up. And we get a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, over and over and over again, right? That rhythmic price action. We have to hold on to certain levels. Those levels to hold on to are 50 fib, $3. Like to see it stay over $3. Anything below that, 296, around this 50 moving average right here, sketchy, but I'm okay with it. Anything more than that, and we're kind of in trouble. Fair enough? Fair enough. Do you see XRP 10 to 12 a possible ETF? Has nothing to do with the ETFs at all. If XRP goes to $10 to $12, it has everything to do with buyers, not sellers, not hodlers. All right. But it won't stay up there long, even if it does. That's the problem. Even if it gets there, it's going to fade back. And we can always look for a subjective reason. I think it was because of this. Like I said, you got to try to balance that and stay away from that, because the more you dig into that, the farther down the rabbit hole you go of, well, what else could it have been? It's an endless fight that you'll never find the answer to. That's the problem. You go down a rabbit hole that you never find the bottom of. That's why they call it a rabbit hole. ETFs already exist. I mean, that's the thing. And they're going to, well, if we go back and look at history, Bitcoin and Solana and Ethereum suffered when ETFs came out. CME's got a chart for XRP. We can pull that up real fast. There it is. It's the XRP CME chart. I said sold all right there, but I've already rebought it. I bought back what I sold, basically. So from this perspective, we're stuck waiting. You can see here, once the ETF or once the CME stuff come out, this thing just went down and sideways and didn't do much of anything. So I don't expect too much of a recurrent price jump just because of some news. I'm never going to be the news guy. I'll never be the news guy. She says, let me write that down real quick. She says, buy low, sell high, rings a bell. Exactly, dude. Exactly. Oh, no, you're welcome, brother. Thank you for asking, Lou Dog. I appreciate it, brother. It's awesome. Unfortunately, Powell doesn't get kicked out till May of 26. That's correct. What do you want to bet? That's the end of the bull run, too. What do you want to bet? That's the end of the bull run, right? Is about the time he leaves. All right. Let's go check out some more stuff. Chainlink. I've got a request for TRB from 2B, Sultan of Luffy. He's the one that retweeted it. I appreciate that, brother. He says, can you check out TRB? I absolutely can check out TRB. We'll get to that. First, let's do Link Weekly. Link Weekly still performing like a champ. Even after the pullback that we had yesterday, Link Weekly looks all right. I need to be recording this. Even after the pullback yesterday, Link Weekly looks okay. So we start here, pull our fib down from our high to our low, and we'll use the dashed line on that fib set right there as a trend line. See that? That gives us a relative date of when things may slow down and stop. Now for Link here, it says October. What do you guys think? I don't know. Link says October. Problem here, Link hit Sniper's Alley and bounced back pretty aggressively. Do you see that? Let me zoom in. This is a zoomed in view. I'm on the daily now. Perfect 786 sniper. Pow! Headshot. Just like that. You thought it was going to get through? Well, there's a reason we're called the 786 assassins. And it's for that right there. All right? Absolutely cut us down, unfortunately. Now, the good news is we only failed back to the golden pocket at the 71 fib right there. Not bad. Not bad. We're still over the AEMA. Not bad. Even after a pullback. The monthly chart on Link is stupid. Look at this. From what was miserable looking to a very aggressive bounce. If we draw a channel right here, which is worth drawing. A lot of guys in the Discord have been using channels recently. I know you guys don't think I noticed, but I noticed. All right. Right there's our channel. This thing's just chopping along, doing its thing. Fighting the midline right now, but my target comes up here toward the top of the channel where I think it will get to in time. Beautiful price action for Chainlink. Even after that red day yesterday, she's still showing a good bit of power. Now, I want to warn you, look at the weekly. Our oscillators look good. You're not overbought. You have room to go up. MACD has cut through the midline, got really solid buy volume coming in. But on the daily, that's a little different. Look at this. Big overbought, pull back, and now double overbought again. That's a little worrisome. That makes me think we might slow down some short term before we go back up more long term on the weekly. All right. Not the end of the world situation, just it went a long way and overextended itself, and it may need to take a breather and catch up for a moment. That's all right. It did really, really well for several days in a row. I almost took profits on this and I didn't yet. If this doesn't improve by Saturday, I may skim some off the top of it and move that money into something else. For now, I'm leaving it alone, My stop losses slid way up there. If things get wild, it's going to take profits for me. So for now, leave her be. Thank you, Cheese. He says, channels are fire. I would agree. Good to see you, Daya. How you doing, brother? Go give us a like, Daya. All right, so we did Bitcoin, Ethereum, Link. How about Solana? All right. So, similar story here as we saw for Bitcoin, where she came up and cleared the liquidity out. Right here was where the shorts came in, and look where that wick spiked up right there. Did you see that? Right there's where the shorts came in. Right along that level there. And this wick shooting up right here shows us, big, bright, shining star, that liquidated the shorts. They're going to take another run at it. And they did. Yesterday's candle was another run at those shorts. Good news here is you're still over the 8. You're still over the 21 EMA. And all the regular moving averages are now in order correctly. That's the 50, the 100, and the 200 in ascending order. 8 EMA, 21 EMA, 50 MA, 100 MA, 200 MA, all in order. Perfect. A little bit longer and you'll see them completely all turn north and continue to go up. It's a beautiful thing to watch. Golden cross, the whole 9. Beautiful setup. We haven't talked about the Ichimoku cloud on everything, but daily wise, the Ichimoku cloud looks pretty good on a lot of different assets. Not all of them, but on a lot of different assets, Ichimoku clouds have improved greatly. I still like we did get up to $210 there the other day. I knew we were going to get to 200. That was a pretty easy suggestion to make. The question is, how much farther do we go from here? All right, so getting out of the golden pocket would be going above 212. There's a solid possibility we do that in the coming weeks because we still have pretty good momentum here. Top of this 786, 886 levels, 231 to 260. I do think we can get there as well. I think it's due, just like we saw with Chainlink. If we break loose and we do something wild, we could see Solana still get up here to that $400 to $600 level. I don't see that happening at the moment. But in the future, when we get down toward the end of the year, I think there's a solid possibility of that happening. For now, let's stick with what we got. I want to see this thing get back to that $200 level and close it, because if it can, we're looking at 230 to 250 in time. All right. I'm writing down what you guys say. Sorry. Shout out to everybody over on X. Over 200 people watching. Sneak in a shout out to Red Belly. I got you, Cheese. I got you. No problem. Make sure those dudes know that I did a stream on it. How about that? Can you do that for me? All right. So let's, before we do any of the other ones, go to some of the ones that these guys over here requested. TRB. Start with that one. Telor. That's funny. It makes me think of telemarketers. By the way, cherry lemon sun drop. They were on sale. How can I turn that down? One of the greatest drinks ever invented. Oh my God. Anyway, so we go look at the daily on TRB. See this big, heavy consolidation that we've got. Right there. Kind of see it. Actually, you know what? That wick might be a BS wick. Let's pull that back down a little bit right there. Straighten that line out. So far, you have not crossed the trend line. You came close, but you didn't quite get there. Now, the good news is you're over top of the 200 moving average, but you're under all the other moving averages. So it's a little bit sideways. I really don't trust this one like I don't trust a lot of them until it gets over this trend line. Breaking that trend line changes everything. If it wants to do it tomorrow, great. I know that wouldn't be the absolute bottom, but it's a safer position than it is buying down here going, oh, I know I bought the right spot. Well, no, you don't. You're guessing. And it's all right. If you want to guess, that's fine. But guessing usually ends up costing you in the long run. All right, I got you, Lou Dog. I'll get to those too. For now, it's a wait and see on this one. I'm also going to warn you on the weekly. Look at that. Underneath every single weekly moving average. Warning, under the moving averages, under the trend line, only thing you're over is the daily 200. One little sniff, and this thing's going the wrong direction. So be careful. It's not quite time yet on this one. Sui. All right. We have a separate section just for Sui in our Discord. If you haven't done so, check it out, man. Look, it's free for the first month. WAP.com/team786. Check it out, dude. Why not? 1 free month, 30 days free. If you don't like it, you can leave. No questions asked. Walk out the door. No one will be mad at you. What's to not want to do? Why not? It's worth a try, right? I think so. SUI has its own section. For now, the weekly's a little bit sideways, but it's still over the 8 EMA. After that pullback we had yesterday kind of sucked. We had a good candle going. A lot of them that we've seen have started to run these local highs. This one hasn't yet, but you saw Chainlink and Solana had. Solana actually run up and threw a wick just to liquidate, right? We saw it happening. Good news is we're still fighting the 821 like we were with Bitcoin. Not bad. Overall, the moving averages, not bad. Ichimoku cloud, not bad. How about the oscillators? Nominal, not bad. That means they have room. MACD, sideways, but not bad. Pivot points, you're over the pivot. That's good. Not bad. Overall here, just a quick glance at things. You guessed it, not bad. Looking at the monthly, look at that. She's going to go. Oh, man, she's going to go. You can see that, right? That's a consolidation and a sprint up on the way. Just needs a little bit of a breather. It's going to run. And when it runs, watch out. A lot of them had started to get a second wind. Look at this 4-hour candles right here coming into. I like that. Finally seeing some volume after yesterday. Crypto Big D, shout out to him. He's been using that aggregator a lot that Thor in our Discord game. Thor's one of our moderators in our Discord. He pulled up an aggregator that he uses for longs and shorts when he's doing his day trading. And Crypto Big D's been using it a lot. One thing he pointed out yesterday afternoon as things were slowing down, oh man, look at the volume fall off. There was almost no trades going on. Everyone just kind of stopped and watched, which let us know, well, the bears aren't quite strong enough yet, and the bulls took a break. So what's up? What's next? Well, more up. Just wait for it. Okay. That's why I'm not panicking yet. It's frustrating. I'm frustrated too, but won't help do anything get mad. So for now, Sui's still in a decent spot. Radium. Yeah, man. Radium was a gangster yesterday, wasn't it? Yeah. Look at that. Amongst all the red. Radium held strong. I love to see that. Look at the weekly go. She's on a rip. She's over the local high right there. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Before I do that, let's talk about the Fibonacci retracement set. Scroll down here, widen it out so everybody can see it real well. People often say I have the screen too small. What you guys don't see is I have 3 screens in here that wraps around the entire desk, right? So this thing is massive in my face, right? It throws me off sometimes that you guys may not be able to see it as good as me, so I apologize. Always let me know if you guys can't see good, and I'll try to fix it. We're over the 50 fib. That's perfect. I want to see that. That happens to be where that local high is right there as well. That local high that happened right here in May. Great. Get over that and stay over that, because if that happens, that leads us up to that $4 to $5 mark where I definitely think we're going to get. Anything past that leaves us 5 to 7. You have resistance right here, okay? That resistance is going to play a little bit of hardball. That means we're probably going to have some sort of a slowdown there. Not the end of the world. A little bit more time after that, and it'll have a chance to breathe again. For now, not bad at all. It's a little bit weird candle yesterday. Hey, I would have liked a little bit more, but that's what I want to see Bitcoin's weekly do. If it can turn green, I won't be mad. But for now, she ain't there yet. So this could have been a much worse day yesterday. It wasn't. The day before that, on that Wednesday, boy, what a powerful day. Beware here. Your oscillators are getting a little overheated. See that? That RSI is almost overbought. MACD is curled up very aggressively. 6 solid volume bars in a row. Can't even complain about that. It's in a pretty darn good spot. All right, we did those 2. All right, sweet. Let's check over here. See if we got anything over here. All right. Deep also looking good. Well, let's look. Let's have a gander. I can't say it in Australian. I would try cheese, but my Australian is terrible. You know that. My Australian is terrible drunk British. Maybe. It's not even that good. All right, so here's the trend line on Deep. As you see, that weekly trend line that's held up since January, still holding strong, all right? So be careful. You're still back testing right there. That's 4 touches. It's going to break eventually. All right. It's over the weekly 821. I like that. Go look at the daily and see what that thing thinks. All right, yesterday that was a really aggressive pullback. That pullback sent us back to the moving averages that are up underneath there. If you look real closely, you can see them. That's the 50 moving average in blue, yellow, the 100 moving average in blue, and the 821 EMA right there. Now, it's still hanging on to them. That's good. Really want to see this thing break the trend line, though, all right? Not a terrible look, especially if you're looking to add on to this because you think it's going to keep going. These red days on days like today when we're in an uptrend, but we get a red day pullback, can't really complain too much. Got to kind of go, all right, well, I'll take what I can get then. If you're going to give me a pullback, I'll take it. Almost 300 people watching over there. Cheese says it's a cross of British and South Africa IMO. That's racist. Not really, dude. Cheese is great. We appreciate you, Cheese. I thank you for everything you do, brother. For real. This is a crazy ass space, dude. And you always try to keep a level head. Nah, I appreciate it. Let's look at hype real quick, and then we'll get to red belly. All right. Which one we want to use? BetMXC's clean. Yep, I haven't drawn on this one at all. All right, hype weekly. My goodness, hype just refuses to quit. Even after falling underneath the 8 EMA on the weekly and giving one of the worst candles it's ever given, which wasn't even that bad, more power to it. Quickly jumped off the daily 100 moving average and said, nope, I don't have any time to sit around and talk about it. She's already bullish engulfed what happened yesterday. Already taken back the losses from yesterday. Good news is I've already bought some of this. I'm feeling pretty good about it. Right here's our local high, and you can see that we are dead smack on it right now. A little bit more gets us a new high. It's going to do it eventually. You guys know it. I will. That leads us, you can see that sniper's alley right there, right? It's so close. It's so close. It's going to break. And when it does, 50 to 60 bucks seems like a logical answer to me. 56 to 63. Let's be a little bit more specific. All right. 56 to 63 here on hype, sooner rather than later, in my opinion. Really nice chart. Refuses to give up. I'm a little specced out about the oscillators. It's done nothing but run hot. It's never been oversold except when it first came out. Other than that, she's ran hot the entire time. MACD, very aggressive cross up, 7 green volume days in a row. Even yesterday was a light green day, but it wasn't enough to throw the volume off. She's done really well. Been a hell of a performer. I've been in and out of this a couple times, back in it now. This is like a safety net for me right now. So I'm going to leave it there, and if I need to, I'll add some more to it. For me now, I'm going to leave it be and watch it run. Very tickled with hype, no matter how bad James Wynn did. Yeah, I put that in there at the end. Don't like that guy at all. I do not like big talkers, man. That pisses me off. And when you take responsibility for your failures. Look, brother, I'm an often failure. I fail all the time. All right. As an often failure myself, I know that you have to admit when you screw up and then fix it. I don't like it when you screw up and then you blame someone else for your screw ups. I fuss at my boys all the time about that. All right. There's one in there asleep right now who I just fussed at earlier because he spilled paint on the carpet. What are you doing with paint in your room right above the carpet? He took accountability for it. He said, I shouldn't have been doing art in my room. So I couldn't get too mad. I helped him clean it up. Said, hey, brother, don't do that again. Are you serious? He said, okay. And that was the end of it, right? Take accountability for your issues and then fix it. That guy doesn't do that. I don't want to associate with those kind of people. Fair enough? Fair enough. I said we do red belly. I lied. One more first. Can we talk about Chentai or Chex, CHEX? Oh my goodness. I bought this the other day, and this thing has gone absolute batshit wild. All right, so don't mind all the crazy drawings. I'll try to clear this up a little bit here, but that's my actual buy line down there in the green. I bought the absolute dirt bottom of this. Why? Because it swept the low and it held support, that red box right there. Okay. Now that red line right there that you see is my stop loss. I'm going to slide that up right now. And then after the stream, I'm going to go put that on this portfolio spreadsheet that I have that shows everybody, everything that I own. All right. I'm going to put that right at the 8 EMA right there. And I'm going to go back and fix that in the exchange and everything else and bump my stop losses up so that I don't lose. So far, since I've bought this, She's up 100%. Let's freaking go. Now, I only bought $1,000 worth, and I did take a little bit of profits up here when it jumped up like 60% in one day. I was like, all right, let me get some money out. But it was only $100 I took out. So all the rest of it's still in there. 94% of it's still in there. It is getting up to the higher time frame 382. Notice that right there, that yellow box I drew, that was one of my targets. Also, the daily 200 moving average is up there, so I don't think it's going to blow through all of them. It's had an amazing comeback. Cannot complain. Look at that thing. Sprint back up to the top. I really like it. And it had a really, really big run earlier on in the bull market. Look at that thing went up 8x. That's great. I'm hoping it can do that again. Just give me the weekly 50 and I'd be pretty tickled. I'm already pretty tickled with what it's done. A lot of up in that thing. I'm very, very happy I got in it. I know some other people got in it. What about you guys? Did you? All right. And the last one we will do today, Red Belly Network, RBNT, at the request of Cheese, one of my moderators. All right, so on the weekly chart, a little bit sketchy here. We're still stuck under the 8 EMA and haven't quite broken through like we did just earlier last month in July. We got over the 8 EMA then, still stuck under it right now. Good deal. So how about daily? Well, you can see the big trend line that I've got coming down here. You can also see that we're underneath these moving averages. We're underneath the 100. We're underneath the 50. We're underneath the 21 EMA in purple right there. And we're over the 8 EMA. We had a very good day come in here on Wednesday. I believe it was plus 14%. But the problem is it back tested the moving averages and didn't get over them yet. In time, I think it will. It's just a little stuck right now. Needs a little bit longer. Once it gets over the hump here and it gets back over that 50, I think it's going to start to sprint again. If we look at the pullback that it did, from the bottom to the top, and we drag this over a little bit so we can see it. All right, we came down and did a perfect, bow, 786 Sniper's Alley retrace. She hit 786 and she bounced aggressively. If that's the bottom, we can pull the fib back the other direction now. Let's start at the top and pull it to the bottom. Excellent. Looks like it might even be a broken trend to me. So let's drag this over here so we can just see it a little bit better. Going back in the other direction, I want to see it close over this 236. That would be absolutely lovely. Close over that 236 and you start to change some opinions for me. All right. From there, getting over the 382 is our first big bullish sentiment. Breaking that 382 fib puts us on a path to the 50 fib, which is up here and testing the trend line. Remember also the 200 moving average daily is slowly bearing down here. That's all the way up at Sniper's Alley. Ooh, another Sniper's Alley run. From here to Sniper's Alley, 50%. Not too bad. I think it's got it in it. Whether it does it now or later, she's going to break out and sprint. How far do I think it goes? Well, the weekly 382 is up here, and there's also a daily 1618 right here. Makes sense to me that both of the price gets up to both of those. That's 150 to 175%. I think there's gains in it. Maybe not right now, but eventually she's going to get going here. Apparently this one's got a big network. I had it. I've sold it. I might rebuy it. We'll see. I'm still sitting on a lot of Bitcoin. Don't want to sell it off just yet. I'm being stingy. All right. So that was an hour. Boy, that went by fast as hell. Honestly, I was dreading this stream. Not going to lie. I was dreading 300 people watching. Let's go, dude. It makes me nervous when I see these numbers, by the way. I know you guys see me on here and you go, oh, he's used to coming on here and talking. And that's not the truth at all, dude. It's stressful as hell. Come on here talking in front of y'all. I'm trying my best not to say the wrong words. I'm trying my best to come off clear and concise. It's not always easy. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate every single one of you coming and hanging out. You don't have to do it, but you do it anyway. And I thank you for that. Could have been anywhere in the world. You chose to be here with me. I appreciate it. Make the best of your todays, the worst of your tomorrows. All right. Let's have a better day every single day. And last but not least, folks, if nobody else has told you today, just remember, Keith told you. Keith loves you. I appreciate you all. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. The opportunity to come on here and do this is not forgotten. It is not forgotten. I'm going to keep giving you guys my all. I'm fully stressed out to the max. I don't sleep well. I worry about everybody's portfolio. except mine. You know what I mean? I shouldn't do that, but that's just the way my brain works. I want everybody to win so bad. I want everybody to win with me. I say that all the time, and I mean it. I want everybody to win with me. What's good what's good sitting in first class and flying out to all these places if your friends can't come with you? All right? I want you guys to come along with me. I hope you will. Thank you all. I appreciate it. I'll see you guys on the next stream Tuesday, 4/20, just like normal. Check us out. WAP.com/team786 first month free. Y'all be good. I'm out. Sky's the limit. Peace.